Good evening and welcome to the 2021 AIA Gulf States Design Awards. I am excited to welcome you to our program. My name is Kevin Alford. I am a Gulf States Regional Director from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Over the years, this awards program has showcased some of the nation's best designs. This evening, we will honor and celebrate projects and their exceptional design teams from across our 5-state region. Projects whose design resonate beyond the Gulf States to the entire country and even worldwide. Thank you for all of your wonderful submissions, which have highlighted the amazing work the Gulf States is producing. It is my pleasure to introduce Lori Santarita, a Gulf States Regional Director and the chair for this year's Gulf States Design Awards.
Thank you, Kevin, and good evening, everyone. As we have all experienced, the past 2 years have been unpredictable and sometimes somber. My dear friend Michael Lejean was supposed to be where I'm standing now. He was so excited to represent the talent and leadership of the Gulf States as a member of the Strategic Council. And as a tireless volunteer, he was looking forward to overseeing the Gulf States Design Awards for the second year in a row. After his passing, Michael's impact on the region and profession became overwhelmingly obvious by the number of people willing to step in to carry on his work. We were all better off knowing Michael, and his legacy lives on through all of us.
Hi, I'm Travis Bartlett, a principal within AHG Architecture. I am Michael's friend, colleague, and business partner. I jokingly say sometimes I sort of knew him. We've known each other since third grade. We grew up together in life and architecture. And as most of you know, unfortunately, Michael passed away all too soon on July 19th. Michael's wife, Katie, and their daughters, Abby and Emerson, along with the rest of their family, were his world, and his love and pride for them showed anytime he talks about them. His smile and just glow of talking about his family was ever present. Of course, we miss him. I miss him dearly. But my hope is his legacy will continue to be an example to others to give back, and to give back within your community and your profession and all the things that shape you.
I had the privilege of calling Michael Louis Lejean one of my best friends for close to 30 years. We met as young architecture students at the University of Arkansas, and our friendship quickly grew as we spent long nights in studio, teamed together on school projects, and studied in Rome together. One of the biggest highlights of my career is that Michael and I had the opportunity a few years ago to work on a project back at the University of Arkansas. I don't think there was anyone that ever met Michael that didn't like him. This is a testament to the man he was, and gives the rest of us a role model to aspire to be like. We will never forget you, Michael.
Michael was one of the most well-rounded professionals I've ever known. Not only was he capable, but he was extremely dependable. Whatever task or role he was charged with, you could absolutely bank on it to be thorough and exemplary. He was a consummate professional, and even though I carried a few more years of experience than him, he was one of a handful of people that I absolutely looked up to. Our profession will be profoundly impacted by his premature passing, but on a very personal level, we've all lost a great friend.
I consider myself lucky to have spent time with Michael through the years. Michael was a colleague, a mentor, and a good friend. As an advocate, Michael worked for the good of architects and architecture in both Arkansas and at the national level. He worked tirelessly, moving forward, making progress, but always had time for his family and friends. He made a lasting impact on so many and will be missed by all.
I remember Michael Lejean fondly. He was a great student. I have this great memory of him as an excellent architect and devoted to the School of Architecture, and all his classmates.
This is Marlon Blackwell, one of your first teachers at the school back in the 90s. It was great to have you as a student, and it was great to watch you evolve and grow into an architect at heart. I'm going to miss you deeply. Busy getting ready to write your FAIA letter when this whole tragic thing happened. You would have been a slam dunk, my friend. I really appreciate your contributions to our school and to the profession here in Arkansas, and to the national presence that you were having that was emerging with your leadership and your vision.
Hi, my name is Chris Toddy. I was the 2019 AIA Small Firm Exchange National Chair. Ahead of his role as 2020 National Chair, Michael was my right-hand partner in creating national, small firm, and leadership programs. He was a joy to work with, a professional, optimistic, effective and caring leader. He was a good friend. He will be missed by me and the AIA National.
Through leadership, he really believed in helping people become better, and it's awesome because Michael didn't always have to lead from the front like a lot of people do. He was wonderful about having sidebar conversations and giving people encouragement, calling, reaching out to people, letting them know that he thought they'd be a good fit for something, or encouraging them to participate or take on a new assignment or role. And I think if there's anything that we want to remember about Michael, it's how big his heart was and how much compassion he had.
Michael will always have a special place in my life as someone that saw the best in others. A true leader. Someone that knew what to say and when to say it. I am grateful to have known Michael. His influence and presence to friends, family, and the architectural community alike will undoubtedly be both missed and live on for many years to come.
Michael was well into the process of overseeing the 2021 Gulf States Design Awards when I stepped in. I believe it would have been his wish to have his efforts realized, to recognize the work being produced in our region and to celebrate all of your accomplishments. This, however, would not have been possible without the involvement of so many. A big thank you to Tim Moore and the folks at More Creative for putting together our video, Kevin Alford and Molly Craig for being invaluable resources, and of course all of you for producing the beautiful work that shapes our communities. My gratitude also goes out to Chris Dawson, our head juror, for organizing the judging and creating such an efficient process, and our two other jurors, Janice Woodcock and Joe Biondo, for the countless hours they spent deliberating to determine our award winners. All practitioners from Pennsylvania, our jurors selected 21 projects to receive recognition. But before we announce our winners, let's hear a little bit about our judges. Head juror Chris Dawson founded Chris Dawson Architect on the heels of 15 years of experience in central Pennsylvania. He is a Syracuse University graduate with work that has been recognized by the AIA with 17 design awards in the past 10 years. CDA is an award-winning architecture and contemporary design firm that works to make architecture easy to understand and bring to life by taking an inherently collaborative approach, sharing ideas early and often, and removing the mystery from the process. Founded in 2009 with offices in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and the Czech Republic, CDA strives for an aesthetic that is clean in its detailing and honest in its use of materials. Chris is passionate about architecture and holds a deep-seated belief that architecture is art. In 2020, AIA Pennsylvania recognized Chris's commitment to creating a better world through innovation, scalable and measurable solutions with the Impact Designer Award. Janice Woodcock, principal of Woodcock Design, Inc., has spent over 30 years as an architect and city planner, working with innovative design firms, practicing nationwide before founding her own firm. She previously worked with Kieran Timberlake and Cecil Baker and Partners on government, higher education, nonprofit, and private sector projects that garnered awards from AIA Philadelphia, AIA Pennsylvania, AIA National Committee on the Environment, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Mid-career, she left private practice to work with the City of Philadelphia to oversee the $3.6 million capital budget for Fairmount Park and was tapped in 2007 as Executive Director of the City Planning Commission. There, she chaired the Zoning Code Commission, oversaw a major waterfront planning process, and initiated a state-funded project for the city's comprehensive plan. Woodcock holds a Master's of Architecture from the University of Washington in Seattle and a Bachelor's in Sociology from St. Lawrence University. She has taught at Temple and Philadelphia Universities as well as Moore College of Art and currently serves on a number of boards involved in community building, historic preservation, and the arts. Joe Biondo is founder of Biondo Plus Projects, an architect-led development laboratory which challenges conventional housing typology through self-initiated built examples. He is currently a design instructor at Lafayette College, where he introduces engineering students to the concepts of problem solving through design thinking. Shortly after graduating from Kansas State University, Joe pursued a lengthy career with the firm of Bolin, Sawinski, Jackson Architects, where he worked closely with AIA Gold Medal recipient Peter Bolin. He joined Spillman Farmer Architects in 2003, where he has brought design excellence to the forefront. Joe's work celebrates the process of making and is deeply influenced by his family background, which is rooted in the garment and construction industries. Beyondo's core belief is that beyond site considerations, client program requirements, and issues of sustainability, thoughtful planning of a building must include its ability to produce a lasting aesthetic.
Citation Awards. Log Haven Artist Studios, new construction. Sanders Pace Architecture. The Log Haven Artist Residency is a multidisciplinary artist residency occupying 90 acres just 2 miles from downtown Knoxville. The site consists of 6 log cabin structures dating from the 1930s, which have been rehabilitated into residences for visiting artists. In order to provide adequate space for dancers, performing artists, screen printers, and others who had special needs, the residency made the decision to commission the first discipline-specific studios on the Log Haven campus. The Visual Arts Studio and Performing Arts Studio are designed as companion buildings with flexible open workspaces that can accommodate these artists. The Visual Arts Studio incorporates ventilation, a large press and high-resolution printing capability, along with adjustable track lighting and multiple color temperatures. The Performing Arts Studio includes a sprung floor to limit fatigue commonly associated with dance and other performing arts. Jury comments. The architectural design is clean and elegant, thereby allowing the focus to be on the surrounding landscape and ultimately the creative endeavors within. The 2 pavilions are placed in the landscape, forms artfully detailed to showcase simplicity, proportion, and harmony with the site. Building systems have been carefully hidden, keeping a pure expression. The resulting spaces support a program of inspiration, reflection, and creativity. 30 townhomes. New construction. Archimania. The architect and owner-developer took 1.25-acre industrial site between a vibrant arts district and the Mississippi River Bluff and designed an urban community unique to the downtown area that creates new connections within the historic district. The 30 single-family zero-lot line townhomes promote a more sustainable, community-focused development. A traditional front porch narrative was introduced, fostering connectivity and community within a typology that often supports isolation and indoor living. A 27-foot tall courtyard with textural landscaping and various levels of undulating walls are at its heart. The 30 single-family zero-lot line townhomes promote a more sustainable, community-focused development. The economical site layout is organized into 3 district rows, each with unique relationships to exterior space and the city. The buildings are expressed as a series of stacked volumes clad in zinc gray box rib metal at levels 1 and 2, and topped by bright yellow volumes of fiber cement board and batten. The rhythmically undulating facade, overchanging with light and shadow, remains the primary spatial and visual driver, with materials that are inherently sustainable. Jury comments. Tremendous repurposing of land, creating beautiful places to live in that should only become nicer as the landscaping matures. An impressive project sensitive to the surroundings, visually pleasing and extremely economical to construct. Riverdale 10 House, new construction, Sanders Pace Architecture. Located in Riverdale, Tennessee, the project is a 1,979 square foot single-family residence situated within the foothills of the French Broad River Basin with the distant views of the Great Smoky Mountains. The house was designed around the simple organization of 3 pavilions, 1 public, 1 private, and a garage, all connected by a single roof form that weaves through an existing grove of mature hardwoods. The negative spaces created by connecting the pavilions become covered porch spaces with very distinct qualities. One with a low, flat ceiling is accessed from the guest bedroom that frames near views into the adjacent landscape to create quite a refuge, while the other is accessed from the public spaces of the home and has a high sloping wood ceiling oriented to distant mountain views. Each of the primary volumes is clad in a pattern of cementitious siding panels painted in a range of colors selected to match the fall foliage discovered during an initial site visit. Stained cypress wood surfaces at the exterior spaces add warmth and help to connect and unify the home with the surrounding forest. Simple interior finishes such as painted wood ceilings and whitewashed oak floors reinforce the connection to the outdoors while adding an additional layer of refinement. Jury comments. Strong design solution proving that architecture is best when contextual even on a greenfield site and that 2,000 square feet can feel expansive. The house creates both paths and spaces through the wooded site, directing you to views into the landscape. The metal skin appears to protect the interiors, featuring simple, resolved details where materials meet. Red Barn, new construction. Modus Studio. Red Barn is an urban agricultural neighborhood in Bentonville, Arkansas, serving as a contextually sensitive development that positively impacts the surrounding community and provides a high-quality place to live, work, and play. It was proposed to develop this heritage property using the following ideals: conservation planning principles, preserving state-significant soils while retaining and enhancing heritage fields, leveraging agriculture as a community-building amenity, and continuing the city's dedication to trail connectivity. Neighborhood diversity is maximized with a variety of housing types, including townhouses clustered around various sizes of green space and flats over tuck-under parking. The townhouses, both in massing and material, draw from traditional town form, and while the flats connect to the site through large screen porches, the townhouses connect at the ground through neighborhood lawns and community spaces. Metal panel facades are drawn from barns, chicken houses, and sheds seen locally. This industrial material is juxtaposed against wood screens and screen porches. Jury comments. Rich and thoughtful synthesis of multifamily housing with the agricultural both in terms of planning and architectural language, original yet subtle. This project stacks pure proportioned buildings in a delightful arrangement, separating the elements yet unifying the composition through changes in materials. The interiors of these buildings are light and open, with high ceilings and ample daylight due to the careful siting and orientation of forms in the landscape. 83 Freight, new construction, Smith G Studio. 83 Freight is the largest residential shipping container project in North America. It provides unique, sustainable living options through an architecture of reflection, inspiration, and a sense of place and unity representative of its location. 173 containers stacked, rotated, and offset form 3 buildings of 83 residential units of varying sizes, micro studios, 1 bedroom, and 2 bedroom. 83 freight containers were modified off-site with shop cut wall removal and door, window, and utility openings, and were structurally reinforced. Construction utilizing repurposed shipping containers presented many challenges, including wall and floor and ceiling assemblies, alignment of vertical utilities, acoustics, and the effective use of unique structural properties. The design intentionally expresses the raw materiality and simple utilitarian construct of the box both inside and out. Inside, exposed cambered fluted ceilings and original marine-grade plywood floors reminds the user of the journeys their homes once took. Jury comments. The project is beautifully represented with both photographs and drawings depicting a large grouping of shipping containers that are thoughtfully arranged to create beautiful private but also public spaces. This project embraced the materiality of the shipping containers as well as the challenges of building with a preformed metal box. The methods of modular construction and on-site assembly demonstrate a certain fearlessness with a result that is visually pleasing and functional inside and out. RMS, Williams Blackstock Architects. The RMS headquarters is a project designed for a firm specializing in all aspects of timberland investments worldwide. The office occupies the entire 3rd floor of the building, which is nestled into a beautiful woodland site overlooking a lake. The design concept reflects the company's identity and values by creating a dynamic relationship between the wooded lakefront and the daylight-filled interior. The tailored furnishings and sleek lighting adds finishing details to support the overall design, which complements and not competes with its outdoor setting. The design optimizes light and transparency throughout the space with unlimited views of the surrounding site. The result is a pleasant office space that attracts and retains employees that are engaged by the company's collaborative, entrepreneurial, forestry-focused culture. Jury comments. An elegant use of materials including glass creates a surprisingly open work environment given the proportions of the plan and existing building. We were impressed by the open and feeling appropriate scale and clean lines of these interiors, which belied regularity of the plan. The space feels comfortable yet elegant and elevated, befitting the client's aspirations and investment in nature. Herman Miller Showroom, Renovation Restoration, Hastings. Alfred Williams & Company, the exclusive representative for Herman Miller in Middle Tennessee, relocated to a burgeoning neighborhood quickly developing into a design district for the city. This adaptive reuse rejuvenates an assemblage of 4 mid-century warehouse buildings. The modern and crisp aesthetic serves as the perfect backdrop for the refined products Alfred Williams showcases. The design concept is reflective of an art gallery, open, bright, and clean, becoming a canvas for the furniture. Through their partnership with Herman Miller, Alfred Williams & Company is utilizing their new space as a laboratory for the living office, a work environment that harnesses natural motivations and inspires quality of work. Living Office proposes a shift from standardized workstations and generic meeting rooms to a diverse landscape of purposeful settings. The free-form building plan employed provides abundant flexibility and accommodates activation beyond standard work hours, with workspaces doubling as casual gathering and event space. Jury comments. A dramatic transformation demonstrating that restraint and editing are often the most powerful tools in the architect's toolbox. This transformation of mid-century warehouse buildings places a new and existing program of open office in existing space using glass, steel, and light. The result is an inviting series of spaces in support of collaboration. Wonder Bread Headquarters Renovation Restoration, LRK. The headquarters for Wonder Bread was moved from a suburban location as an intentional decision to help drive long-term economic development within downtown Memphis. Equally important was creating a work environment that was so compelling their employees would find the relocation worthwhile. Vacant since 2013, the 60,000 square foot existing structure now provides Class A office space for more than 225 employees. The 3-story day-lit lobby with a central staircase creates a moment for the interior to be revealed, part of the client's desire for transparency and connection with the city. The office environment encourages collaboration and is supported by various sized conference rooms and open informal meeting spaces. Central coffee and copy areas also connect open office space on each floor. The modern rooftop addition of 7,100 square feet provides space for a break room, pre-function space, and a rooftop deck. The exterior facade was reconstructed with bricks salvaged from buildings that were part of the existing factory complex. The Wonder Bread sign has been restored, and other creative touches include turning an old flower shoot into a chandelier and converting dough beds into raised flower gardens. Jury comments. Beautiful renovation and addition with a strong sectional organization. Skillful combination of intervention and preservation of key identifying elements distinguishes this adaptive reuse. The wood cap and flip are delightful to look at and create a lovely rooftop space. Merit Awards. Osage Park Pavilion, new construction, Modus Studio. The Osage Park Pavilion is the gateway and centerpiece for the Osage Park, which resides at the northern end of a small municipal airport in Bentonville, Arkansas. The airport is a playground for unique small aircraft, and this pavilion derives its playful form and structural expression from aircraft wing design. The simple, fluid form lifts seamlessly out of the ground, evolving into a light, airy structure that celebrates natural light pouring through repetitive structural elements and the dynamic, undulating Arkansas-sourced cypress facade. The pavilion acts as a hub for the park and contains a covered gathering space, restrooms, green room, and an outdoor stage and amphitheater that anchors the eastern edge of the 55-acre park.
As the pavilion rises out of the park, the occupiable green roof becomes a viewing platform for watching planes take off and land. Jury comments. Lovingly sculpted, extraordinary park pavilion that one can imagine being embraced by the community. As an exciting interpretation of an otherwise simple program, this building uses an innovative structural skin to both reflect light and create a screen through which to view the surroundings. This building stands as an energetic civic addition to the landscape and a delight to stand inside. Tanglewood Cabin, new construction. Marlin Blackwell Architects. Nestled along a remote bluff overlooking Beaver Lake in the Ozark Mountains, the Tanglewood Cabin is a weekend retreat designed to eventually become a full-time residence. Born of a desire to engage the surrounding landscape, the cabin offers security and shelter, balancing prospect and refuge. The cabin is a stoic mass in the landscape with a restrained material palette and strategically composed openings, mainly directed towards the lake. The volume and form of the cabin are the direct result of the plan, shaped to conform to the site, projecting slightly over the edge of the slope. Wrapped in a dark shell, the volume provides a mysterious, quiet elevation upon arrival, except for a generous entry porch that introduces the material logic. The sides and the rear of the cabin are clad in locally sourced cypress with a charred finish, providing a durable, low-maintenance exterior. The carve for the porch and adjacent bedroom are clad in clear cypress, establishing the difference between the dark, stoic exterior shell and the rich, warm interior. In this compact footprint, every space is used, so circulation spaces are enlarged to become flexible spaces for the life of the home to be celebrated, whether work or play. Jury comments. This straightforward cabin in the woods shows a skillful design hand as it perches on a hill, taking full advantage of sun, views, and light. The spaces are small and cozy, yet wherever you turn, you can embrace the grandeur of mountains, woods, and water. It feels wonderful. Love this project. It's a striking combination of simplicity and complexity nestled into a striking landscape. It's a mature piece of architecture confident in its use of materials and light to craft a comfortable machine for living. Hobbs St. Paul, new construction, Huffed. The design of the Hobbs State Park structures focused on two specific experiences, departure and destination. The goal of the departure was to create an interaction with artistic elements, while also providing a functional space for pre-ride and post-ride gatherings. The destination, the campsites, focused on the trail's biggest asset, the adjacency to Beaver Lake and subsequent shoreline. The parabolic shape of the Hobbs Trail structures complements the landscape inspired by two naturally occurring features in Hobbs State Park, sinkholes and rock outcroppings. An innovative parametric design process was utilized by the in-house fabrication team to optimize the design and use as little material as possible. Stacked steel tubes were carefully arranged to form the parabolic shape. From a distance, the structures are understood as formal volumes. Up close, though, the stacks create a finer, tactile element to interact with and experience the park's surroundings from a different perspective. The materials respond to the duality between the monumental scale of the forest and the granularity of its underbrush. Jury comments. Memorable and playful structures which are designed to endure. Placed in a series, these structures create a place of refuge, wayfinding, and a touch of the man-made fitting for their natural setting. These structures are a delight to the eye. The overlapping steel tubes create a textured solid rib, while the interstitial spaces allow a screened view of the forest to show through. City Park Connector, new construction, Collectivo. This project provides public space adjacent to a beautiful lagoon waterfront, typically inaccessible to the public due to tall vegetation at the water's edge. The project is nestled beneath a canopy of mature cypress trees and features low-slung seating, tables, a dock, and sculptural screen walls. The wood, gravel, and weathering steel allow the project to remain subtle. The new outdoor gathering area frames natural vistas, provides a space for families and groups to get together and enjoy the natural setting, and allows for intimate waterfront access for fishing, birding, and contemplation. Jury comments. Demonstrates that architecture can be surgical in its precision and can happen even with the smallest of budgets. This modest intervention calls attention to a natural waterway that would otherwise escape consideration. The pure steel forms blend into the landscape but form a linear sculpture to mark the way to the view. Charming. Organic restaurant interiors. Archimania. The design strategy uses minimal gestures with a natural material palette, allowing the restaurant signage and the menu of raw, whole foods provide the only color within the space. As a relief to the massive scale of the existing building, the restaurant offers a variety of more intimate conditions with the enclosed booth seating, expansive community table, 4 top tables, bar seating, and 2 top tables in the corridor. The existing tenant space, part of a recently renovated 1930s distribution warehouse, was broken into a variety of space-defining volumes articulated in plywood and gypsum board and site-built wood furniture. The materiality of the raw plywood with exposed end grain relates to the essence of the restaurant's food and identity while adding warmth within the predominantly cool concrete space. The various types of furniture, with a large community table at its core, are comprised of forms that attempt to remain honest to the scale and type of user interaction. The 2 space-defining elements, one at the booth seating and another extending overhead from the kitchen to the dining, are composed of plywood fins that are supported by gypsum board volumes in distinct yet related ways. Jury comments. An architectural intervention of economy, refreshing to find a modulated design celebrating the found conditions in such an unabashed manner. A garage door entry invites the public into a space artfully organized by lighting and careful placement of light wood, creating a variety of social spaces while setting off the existing concrete columns and floors. Joshua Kennedy Restoration. Zito Russell Architects, P.C. This 1857 Greek Revival Italianate structure was the home of Joshua Kennedy. Kennedy was killed in the Civil War, and the house changed hands several times and has been the American Legion since 1948. In January of 2018, after years of fundraising, planning, and several redesigns and rebids, a contract was awarded to commence its renovation. The goal was to restore the original historical structure to its original glamour. Original doors were restored, original floors were repaired and finished, original double-hung wood windows were removed and refurbished while their frames and moldings restored. Walls were repaired and replastered on the inside along with original plaster ceiling moldings repaired. New ceilings were installed, new electrical and HVAC systems were installed along with the new LED lighting, keeping some of the historical chandeliers. Jury comments. A tasteful architectural restoration. Painstaking attention to restoration of a period piece both inside and out. The before and after photos tell a story of craft and care in the execution of the work. Texaco Taco Restoration, Collectivo. In 1949, an iconic Texaco station was built on St. Claude Avenue in New Orleans. One of many across the country, this station was designed by Walter Dorwin Teague as a standardized line of service stations with distinctive detailing and a large rounded canopy. The Texaco on St. Claude is a rare surviving example of these Texaco service stations in New Orleans. The building has survived largely intact, however many of the iconic details were altered or covered over the decades. The project involved removing a fair few layers of unfortunate renovations and replicating historic detailing and plasterwork to capture the spirit of the original Teague stations. The site design focused on defining and arraying exterior rooms around the historic core of the building and sought to find meaningful relationships between the large interior bays and the outdoor patios. The under canopy filling area, originally designed to shelter cars gassing up, has become a popular outdoor eating spot during the COVID pandemic. Jury comments. The jury loved this quirky repurposing of a service station. A careful look and loving restoration of the essential features of the old gas station, an American icon. This conversion of a former Texaco station adds a bit of fun when the old and familiar uses of the pumps and repair spaces from memory are compared to the new design. Little Switzerland Restoration, Sanders Pace Architecture. Located at the end of a high ridge of Browns Mountain, 8 miles from downtown Knoxville, this project is a part of a group of contemporary houses within a subdivision of real estate development called Little Switzerland. In all, there are 20 lots. To date, only 5 houses have been built of the 10 designed. all by Alfred and Jane West Claus. Alfred from Austria left Mies van der Rohe's office in 1932 after completing his work on the Barcelona Pavilion, and Jane West just having left the office of Le Corbusier's Atelier in 1934 with her work on the design of the Swiss dormitory. They both embarked on the most remarkable development in a most unassuming location. The development started in 1939, and today Sanders Pace Architecture has had the pleasure to renovate and restore Klaus Haas II, his second personal residence within Little Switzerland. The work shown within hopefully exemplifies the delicate nature of restoring such a significantly styled home stemming from extremely historic and significant origins while following the modern deeded requirements with any adjustments following the strict unornamented intent. Jury comments. Perhaps the most discussed submission, and we applaud the tasteful and sensitive restoration. The jury was impressed by the deference and respect shown to the original design as well as the craftsmanship of the restoration. The end result delights the eye and brings the older aesthetic back to the present for new appreciation. Honor Awards. Thaden School Bike Barn, new construction, Marlin Blackwell Architects. The Thaden School Bike Barn transfigures the agricultural vernacular of the region into an athletic facility housing a multi-use court, bike storage, and support facilities. Starting with the profile of a gambrel barn, the bike barn reconfigures that profile to create maximum flexibility for a variety of sports while providing bike storage and support facilities. The interior space is the direct result of structural clarity and economy. Working with a local manufacturer, the main truss was developed collaboratively using local materials and experience. The entire exterior is clad in locally sourced cypress, backed with continuous copper insect screen and finished in traditional red barn paint. Except for storage and locker rooms, the entire space is naturally ventilated through the combination of open joints in the cypress board siding, vented skylights, and roller doors that open to the landscape. Through a process of thoughtful abstraction and adaptation, a strangely familiar figure emerges, updating a beloved vernacular building type upon which the region was built, to find a new future, one of education, physical activity, and wellness. Jury comments. This modern interpretation of agrarian vernacular represents an architecture of the highest order. Poetic use of humble materials skillfully detailed to create a magical structure in the landscape that we imagine will be beloved by young and old. An inspiring mashup of the familiar with the unexpected, memorable. This takeoff on the barn vernacular is stunning in its effect both inside and out. We love the complexity of the truss work and how it created a sculpture in the landscape, a noble enclosure for public use and enjoyment. Alloy at Tech Hill, new construction, EOA Architects. Alloy is a modular, prefabricated multifamily housing project located on the Tech Hill, historically an industrial neighborhood. It consists of 82 studio, 1 and 2 bedroom condominium units within 2 connected 4-story buildings. In response to growing demands and rising cost of housing, the project introduces prefabrication construction methods to build, providing quality, affordable housing. It employs recyclable materials to create sustainable, low-impact, and environment-friendly construction. The design team worked with builders to fabricate 100 modular units that were then shipped to Nashville for installation. The buildings, as well as the units, are stacked and offset to align with the view of downtown Nashville. The facade consists of solid and perforated metal screens that create varying degrees of sunlight exposure to the public spaces, including steel stairs, walkways, connectors, and balconies. The bold use of color is used to emphasize the projections and recesses of the structure to create a vibrant presence in the community. Jury comments. Inspiring use of prefabricated components, proving that the sum can be greater than the individual parts. This is an intriguing prototype that challenges the ordinary convention of off-site construction. The architects deployed a kit of parts, a structural armature, and layer of metal to create a bold new identity. This project is striking for the attention to detail and form. The buildings change their appearance when facing each direction in response to site conditions. Materials are colored and layered for visual interest. The design expressions ameliorate the repetitive nature of modular construction. Rayonier Headquarters, new construction, Polk Stanley Wilcox. When Rayonier decided a key landholding could be developed into a township called Wildlight, Florida, their headquarters should also be its centerpiece, expressing commitment to the region. Located 10 miles from the Atlantic coast and 7 miles from Georgia's border, Wildlight will reflect the unique nature of the Atlantic coastal low country. One Rayonier's major theme, community, is manifested in 3 freestanding constituent meeting towers wrapped in Rayonier wood, pine, cedar, cypress, all lit by clerestories along a linear circulation path that emulates wood's movement through a sawmill. Rayonier's lobby acts as a community theater for Wildlight on display under the shed that opens to a civic plaza muse, bringing outside in. An iconic wood sunscreen protects the space, echoing natural wood patterns. Bridging corporation to town, the space states Rayonier's desire to be a community pillar and civic partner. One Rayonier is a large shed in the woods where palms meet the pines, and a transformative architecture that infused a corporate culture with a low country style. Jury comments. This design is unusually welcoming and social for a corporate building. The design supports interaction and collaboration by creating a circulation path that causes you to encounter others. The exterior materials modulate and control the natural light, creating a pleasing composition in the landscape. The architecture is in step with the client's culture and mission and is exceptional in its economy and richness for a building of this scale. The project goes beyond and challenging the typical office building by becoming a lively and appropriate part of its environment. Memphis Teacher Residency, Interiors, Archimania. A nonprofit organization required a new space for recruitment, training, and supporting teachers through an urban teacher residency graduate program. As the context for their new home, the organization decided on a recently renovated Sears distribution center that sat empty and decaying for 17 years. A driving design challenge involved ensuring the education facility established a more public presence from the church basement where they first began in 2009. At the entry, a sign and seating detail offers areas for conversation, waiting, and defines the entrance while also visually communicating the organization's focus on gathering and community. The client's distinct use of book icons to express a source of knowledge translated into an architectural language and graphic spatial detailing that colors and meters the large space. Jury comments. An architectural project with powerful clarity between new and existing, making the most of a tight budget through confident architectural insertions. The new interventions help to reorganize an existing raw space. The design team has crafted simple, nuanced details that define a space within a space. Clean lines of new materials marry well with existing concrete surfaces and structure, left exposed for visual interest. Nashville Public Library, renovation, restoration, Hastings. After lying dormant for 18 years, the Nashville Public Library building in downtown Nashville gets a new life as a creative office space. The revitalization of this architectural treasure relied on a fierce commitment to the original design intent. The exterior of the building was restored to its original 1960s New Formalist state, while the interior presented an opportunity to celebrate the library's heritage through a more modern form of storytelling. The interior space offers an open and authentic workplace comprised of the original concrete columns, sheer walls, and pan slab floor and ceiling structures, which were stripped, cleaned, and left exposed to reveal the beauty of the original craftsmanship. Modern architectural intervention as a part of the adaptive reuse adheres to a strictly black and white color palette to forefront the historic design. Illuminating the history of the building, linear pendant lights run diagonally across the ceiling of the open studio in reference to the book stacks which once ran in the same direction. Jury comments. An honest adaptive reuse showcasing the mid-century aesthetic with great effort to create the correct treatments for concrete surfaces, structure, and exterior windows. The interior showcased the building's fine bones. A new life and architectural distinction to a late modernist building. Here is a restrained balance of restoration and invention. The design team exhibited exceptional care and sensitivity toward the existing structure, a model for adaptive reuse and a beautiful place to work. Powerful mix of finished and raw within a tight budget.